Tonight on The Edge, missing without a trace. A desperate plea tonight from the family of a missing 13-year-old girl.
Neziah Harris vanished over a month ago after getting off the school bus. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack spoke to relatives who believe there may be more connected to her disappearance.
No one has seen or heard from Neziah Harris in more than 6 weeks since she got off at her bus stop on Detroit's east side. The longer this search goes, the more suspicious it all seems.
If she could hear me now, I would want to say to her, I love you, we love you. There's a lot of people concerned about you.
Each day, this family gets more concerned they'll never see 13-year-old Neziah Harris again.
All that we can do at this time is hope that she is alive and she did run away. However, she's made no contact with anyone for us to be able to even believe that that is true.
Two family members spoke with Fox 2 under anonymity. We'll call them Vanessa and Trish. They're estranged from Neziah's immediate family and guardian, who she lives with on Detroit's east side. The fracturing of this family started when Vanessa and Trish suspected abuse at Neziah's home. They reported the concerns to Children's Protective Services.
If I had to guess, 7 to 10 times.
Okay. Over the course of how long?
Over the course of the last 8 months to a year.
But Neziah and her 16-year-old brother remained in the home under adoptive care of their grandma, who spoke out at a press conference this week. Before she went missing on January 9th, Trish tells me she knew Neziah would be the next missing child out of Detroit.
Do you think that there was foul play in her disappearance?
I think there's something going on. I mean, it's so many different scenarios because there's so much dysfunction from multiple members in the family.
For the first time this week, we heard Detroit's Police Chief James White say the word suspects in this case. He said suspects are being talked to and there is more to come. Multiple searches have turned up no Neziah and no evidence.
This child has not reached out to anybody. She has not logged onto any social media app. She has not reached out to friends, family, no one. She just basically just disappeared.
If you have any information that could help investigators, call Detroit Police right away. Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
A man is dead after a shooting on Detroit's east side. This happened around 2 this afternoon on Concord Street near East Verner Highway. Police got to the scene to find a man in his 20s who had been shot. He didn't make it. Call Crime Stoppers if you have any information that can help police solve this murder. The number 1-800-SPEAK-UP. An emotional day for the family of an 11-year-old girl who made the decision, the family did, to remove her from life support.
Lamara Glenn was shot during a drive-by shooting while she slept inside a Detroit home on Pennsylvania Street. Now, 3 of the suspects, all under the age of 21, there they are, have been charged with more than 40 felonies. They are accused of firing 23 shots into the East Side house earlier this week. Police say they're also connected to an illegal car ring and another shooting last week that left a 17-year-old dead.
We're furious over this incident and the senseless violence, but you just can't police stupidity.
2 other suspects have been arrested and are awaiting charges.
Despicable. You know, there's so many places out here that have job wanted signs. Get a job.
A suspected serial bank robber wanted for allegedly robbing 3 Metro Detroit banks arrested hundreds of miles away in West Virginia. 23-year-old Glenn Pack is accused of handing over a note and demanding cash. The feds say he got away with more than $10,000 and posted a video of himself showing it off on social media. He was extradited back to Michigan to face these charges, and now he faces decades in prison if he's convicted. Well, a high school basketball game takes a violent turn.
That's right. Tempers flare and a fight breaks out at the end of the game. Take a look at this. This happened Thursday during a game between Etzel Ford and Woodhaven. Several players began pushing and shoving, with some even throwing fists. Etzel Ford's principal says staff did an excellent job at stopping spectators from getting involved. Dearborn police also helped de-escalate the situation, and they are currently looking into possible charges.
Well, it's an incident that's drawing comparisons to Oxford, a student drawing a gun while at school.
Yes, and it happened in Port Huron, but now the boy's father is speaking out, saying the school district is overreacting. Here's Fox 2's Dave Kinchin.
This sketch of gun references is not an art project and certainly not a threat, according to the father of this 16-year-old boy who drew it, but it's drawing fire in Port Huron.
He plays a lot of first-person shooter games, and so he drew one of the weapons as best as he can draw.
Jeremy Kinney says his teenage son was banned from Port Huron High School because of this image appearing to show two guns and the phrases six-shooter and bang.
We had a discussion with him about it because obviously we want him to do his schoolwork, right? We don't want him doodling in class.
The issue makes many think back to the Oxford High School shooter who made troubling drawings prior to opening fire on his classmates, killing 4 and wounding several others. Critics say Oxford ignored obvious signs of trouble there, but Kinney says this is nothing like that.
It is nothing incriminating, or there's nothing in the photo that says he's going to hurt anybody. There's not a statement. There's not an image of dead bodies. It's just a picture of a gun.
But here's the thing. The family says in order for their son to get back into school, the family has to agree to a search of their house to see if they have any guns. They have a problem with that.
I understand the climate that we're in, and I understand how everybody or how other people can say they didn't do enough or they did the wrong thing, but you're never going to really understand that feeling of being violated and having somebody try to force their way into your home.
Fox 2 reached out to Port Huron schools for comment, but we have not yet heard back on this.
It makes no sense, and the world's gone crazy.
Constitutional attorneys are sounding off. Lawyer Nick Somberg shared his thoughts.
If the school has reasonable suspicion of a crime, they're going to be able to search a student. I don't know what crime a picture of a gun, a very poorly drawn picture of a gun could possibly be, but the actions of the kid are certainly not grounds to then go and search the parents' house who have full-blown constitutional rights. Your home is your castle. So that is the most protected place in the United States. They're going to need probable cause and a warrant to go in there.
Once again, we're still waiting to hear back from Port Huron schools, and we'll bring you more on this once we get it. Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
You saw Dave earlier. He didn't need anything on his head, and now you got the earmuffs with 20-some degrees outside. It's cold.
Yeah, especially compared to the day we had. Yeah. And we're in for a chilly night. Weather Authority Stephanie Mead joins us with what we can expect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it felt great today. Temperatures were in the 50s, and right now we're starting to see numbers really kind of scale back. We're in the mid-20s right now in Detroit, 28 in Battle Creek. In the Ludington area near western parts of the state, they're in the teens right now. Oshkosh at 19. Feel like temperatures pretty close to the teens for a lot of spots. And across much of the region, there are a few single digits up near Bad Axe. You're at 9. Feels like it's about 7 degrees in Traverse City, 14 here in Detroit this evening. So that colder air most certainly settling in, at least for right now, but this is super brief. We do see temperatures eventually warm back to near 50 possibly by the end of this weekend. And the good news with this too, we're not anticipating much, if any, snow. A lot of it's down near southwestern portions of the state into Indiana, Illinois, and northern Ohio. There are bursts of some heavier snow near the South Bend area into northern Indiana too. So at least we're steering clear of any accumulating snow. Now there might be a few light flurries out near Monroe County, but that's really the only area that's getting clipped by this system. That will continue to track to the south and southeast, so not really impacting us. What is though is this colder air associated with this same system. We will see a mix of sun and clouds through the day on Saturday, Sunday as well. 21 degrees overnight low, wind chill factors feeling like they're in the teens. A lot of us will feel like we're either 10 to 15 degrees tomorrow morning. So cold one for sure. Temperatures rebound into the lower 30s, 32 degrees forecasted high Saturday. By Sunday, we should be in the upper 40s. Breezier days, so that's really the only issue we see by the end of the weekend. And then by Monday, we're in the low 50s. We're trending a little bit warmer, still seeing some sunshine, and then shower chances arrive on Tuesday. Now they start off scattered, a bit more widespread during the day on Wednesday, and then late Wednesday as colder air begins to spill in, there could be a transition over into some lighter snow. But as of right now, we're not looking at much of accumulation with that, just that transition that could give us maybe a few flurries. Otherwise, this weekend, kind of split, still overall nice, but better of the 2 days will be Sunday just because our temperatures will feel a little better. 32 Saturday, Sunday, 48, little breezy. The extended forecast shows numbers continuing to warm into the 50s and then eventually 60s as we head through Tuesday. Shower chances will arrive Tuesday, Wednesday, potentially lingering on into Thursday, and then a quick cool down before we see temps rebound right back to the 50s by the end of next week. Rupen Taryn?
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Stephanie. Well, the Stars were out tonight at Henry Ford.
Current and former Detroit Pistons gathered to celebrate excellence, all for a great cause. Fox News' Lauren Edwards was there.
We come to pay homage to one of the greatest players that played the game of basketball here in the city of Detroit. My idol, the reason I wear the number 44 is because of George Gervin.
Piston stars of today and the past mix and mingled at the Henry Ford Museum, celebrating basketball legends George Gervin and the late Sam Washington.
And I just felt that it was time for us to start giving our guys their flowers.
And pay homage to a place many of them called home in the 1960s and 70s, the historic St. Cecilia's gym.
My favorite story at St. Cecilia was with Spencer Haywood. We had All-Star Weekend one year, and he told me that Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson was on his team at St. Cecilia, and I'm like, wow.
And I mean, I spent many days there, not just as a kid, but when I got in high school and when I got in college, and when I got in the pros, I would still come back to St. Cecilia because that's where the competition was.
Legend Greg Kessler says part of the proceeds raised at the event will go to repairing St. Cecilia's, a project the Pistons undertook a few years ago.
The proceeds always for St. Cecilia's legendary, where all of us grew up playing with as kids, and you know that mission Earl Cureton was on to really go and revitalize the St.
Cureton passed away on February 4th. He helped oversee the project. Legend Derek Coleman says he's determined to finish what Cureton started.
Been a big brother to all of us. You know, it's so sad that I was just talking to him that night. You know, and we were laughing because he had just left dinner with Buddha Edwards and Vinny, and they were talking about getting a table for this event.
Coleman says he doesn't know how much money will be raised, but every dollar will be put to good use.
St. Cecilia right now is in need of some refurbishment, a lot, in fact. And it's going to take a lot of money to do it. This is a small step in that direction.
Officials tell me that the goal is to not just transform the gym, but to also turn it into a community center where people can get job training, mentorship, and tutoring. In Dearborn, I'm Lauren Edwards on The Edge.